high into contact, hands wide beat. Okay, he's gonna be the left tackle here as well. I know there's a certain point in the review he switches to guard, but for right now he is the tackle, the left tackle. So let's watch. So um, the set's not bad in terms of he vertical sets. He does a pretty good job splitting the crotch of the. I believe that's Leonard Floyd. He does a pretty good job playing inside out and all that stuff. The problem comes at the contact point. One, one, he's high again. We could see that he's pretty much standing straight up into this punch. There's really not much knee bend, if any. So we have high into contact. We have him losing first contact, right? The hands on him. We want to win first contact. We have his hands coming wide, which you're not getting any strong point of contact now. And you have the edge rusher who's just able to stab him, and then turn that corner. Now the ball is out quick because Poyer blitzes, nobody picks it up, but he was beat here. Why? Because of poor technique in the contact window. Warren stunt pickup tight to left guard, eyes. Okay, left tackle. This is a better rep. I can see that his eyes here. Okay, so there's two things to this. So one, good stunt pickup right off the jump. It's a good play. I like the fact that, okay, he's getting to his vertical set. He stays pretty tight to his guard. Again, especially when you have, two techniques next to each other, like a 4-eye and if you want to call it a 7, a loose 5 and 9. Again, I don't really care. But they're pretty close. Should it at least tip you off to maybe there's some type of pick play coming here, stunt, whatever it may be. So I like the fact that he stays tight to Laken Tomlinson. I also like the fact that he has a drag hand out. His drag hand comes out right here. And what that allows him to do is just cover, it allows him to cover the B gap while also looking at the edge defender. So he could feel that gap. He could feel it. So drag hand's out there. Drag hand is most likely initiated right now. Eyes are on to 56. 56 starts to loop to the inside. Carter Warren drops the post. Drops that inside hand, has his right hand already attached, which is another benefit of the drag hand. Hey, like let's say if he's tight to the guard, his eyes are to the outside, but he doesn't have his drag hand out there to feel the edge rusher coming or the rusher coming. Now his hand has to shoot all the way from his chest, wherever his hand is to get to that defender. Whereas with the drag hand, it's initiated already, so there's not that lag time in picking it up. So he has his right hand inside. Clamps with the left, comes over the top, and then we can see him do a good job of like sinking his hips and kind of torquing him out, or trying to torque him out of there. But he's underneath. It's a good job right there with that stunt pickup from Carter Warren. Good combo. Okay, left tackle. Okay, so this is good. This is good awareness of what's going on right here. Ideally, you have this. Well, for the Jets and for Conklin here, they combo this. The linebacker scrapes over the top. Conklin picks him up, but the linebacker does shoot the B gap. So Warren's put in kind of a tough position with both taking on the primary responsibility of the first level of the combo block, like being basically initiated more so than obviously Conklin is. So takes his zone step, engages. Right hand can't see where it is. Obviously, it's a little bit high here. There's not really much of rolling the hips, so we see some, not the best in the run game on his toes. Again, pretty high, but good engagement. Now he's looking towards Conklin. I think he sees that there's nothing on the second level to go to anymore. So that linebacker must be shooting backside. Gets his eyes to it and just gets his elbow out there enough to slow down 43. Not like you pancake him or anything like that, but just that awareness to recognize that, hey, I got to pick up both of these guys or at least chip him a little bit, allowing my running back to get outside, which he does, is a good job. And then obviously he gets the elbow on and then actually attaches himself to it later on. Gets his left hand onto the hip, pushes him to the ground. Good job. Good combo. Sack allowed. Okay. Maximize. Okay, left tackle still. Okay, so this is one where it's like it's a little bit unfortunate because he does trip over Zach Wilson's foot here, and I understand that argument, but we'll talk about it a little bit. So gets into the vertical set. You have the edge here who obviously loops to the inside, gets his eyes inside. Goes to pass him, passes off the looper. You wish you got contact a little bit earlier to make it a little bit easier on Tomlinson, but nonetheless, drops that post, gets the right hand on, eyes to the second level, turns the upper portion of the body, not the lower half. That's a good job, staying square to the line of scrimmage, getting your hands on to Oliver, even though they're hands to the face, but still getting hands on Oliver, I believe it is. The problem comes here with the one that, obviously there's some just physical limitations some guys have. There's some plays that will work out for Tyron Smith that won't work out for Carter Warren because Tyron Smith is a savage and Carter Warren, is not at this point. So he gets contact with Oliver. The problem comes that it's high. It's not into the chest, and he's a lot higher than Oliver. So you want to pass it off and be a little bit lower into contact because now you have your hands that are high and you're high in your stance. You're gonna get launched backwards, or at least here in this instance, he gets launched backwards, launching, and like people like again, I had people on Twitter because I put up all these posts like, oh my god, he just tripped on this one. Was this gonna be a good rep if he didn't trip? Was Ed Oliver still probably going to get there? Yes, most likely. And also, if he had better contact into that, guess what? He doesn't get lifted up and put in a spot where he's getting launched backwards into the air and is slipping on Zach Wilson. So you could say that's the primary reason for it, but that's the load of horseshit. Transparently, like he was getting launched regardless. Now maybe he wouldn't fall over, but he get pushed back into Zach Wilson, maybe fall in his lap. So it wasn't even the worst play in terms of like technique and stuff like that. The actual initial stump pickup is not bad. He just lacks a little bit of strength. Warren overset. Okay, left tackle. Okay, getting beat to the inside again, allowing pressure. Again, that first step is fine. Now we got to run our feet. We got to run our feet, and even if we're not going to run our feet, we have to be very, very aware and very, just very aware of that, of any inside move. We have one step, two steps, and then you could say, and like part of my stuff with Carter Warren too is I think people, and at least at Pitt, people seem to think he's a little bit better of an athlete than I didn't. In particular, I remember some of it being about his lateral quickness. I don't like. It's not like he oversets here. It's not the worst overset in the world. It's definitely an overset, but the lack of like movement and like explosion to get back to the inside there, it's like it's pretty slow and laggy. Like his lateral movement there to get back inside, like you really want to see him explode and get to the inside. So we have an overset. You have a lack of like redirect or not redirective. Well, it's a redirective movement. But you see some lack of like lateral explosion. Gets his right hand in there. Unfortunately, it's not into the chest. What we want to do here at this point is get hand into the chest. Basically go crotch to hip, and then we want to use that wrench technique with that left hand into the small of the back, and then both your hands basically straighten him out. Unfortunately, he's not able to land his hand into the inside. It's into his shoulder, so there's not really any real contact there. Lets up a hit on Boyle. Why? Overset and lack of movement skills in certain aspects to his game. Warren beat inside punch. Okay, left tackle. Now, yes, Tomlinson was there to pick it up again. What if that, I think it's Daquan Jones or whoever it is, whatever. If he decided to fully engage with Tomlinson, guess what? Tomlinson's not there to pick this up. Now, why does he get beat? An all or nothing inside punch that he's completely reaching for. One, what do we see out of the stance? Very high, right? He's playing high. He gets near the contact window, reaches for contact, gets beat to the inside. Thank God Tomlinson's there. Yeah, even if he lands that punch, is it gonna be effective because you're leaning so heavy into it? It's not like a very powerful punch. I don't know, not good. Beat quick inside. Beat quick. This is one of those reviews. Like I don't want people watching this like, oh, he's doing this to spurn the people who had faith in him. Like it's not that. It's these people came out there, specifically Damian Woody and Elijah Duzable, like attacked me a little bit for it, but they're making claims that this guy could, again, and Damian Woody specifically saying that, hey, this guy could be a long-term starter or whatever, or have faith in him. And then 2 seconds later is questioning him as a depth piece. But those guys just don't watch the whole season. They don't. They run with PFF narratives and all this bullshit they hear. So when I put up a bunch of clips, Duzable went after 2 of them. One was completely false. Other one I actually understand what he was saying. And left the other 30 alone. Why? Because he probably saw a lot of them are right, and nobody was liking his shit. You know, it's just like it's just crazy. So I'm not doing this to prove a point. I did the review because I was genuinely curious about how well he played. I watched him and it wasn't good. So I said that it wasn't good, you know, and here's the evidence. So this is why we're doing this. There are some good, there are some he has some ability. I think he could be a long-term depth piece, maybe even a starter in the future. You never know where he could be in year 5, 6, 7 of his career. But last year he was not good. And if you're going to rely on this guy to be your backup tackle in an all or nothing year, then by all means. And I said that. I said that on Twitter. If he's your primary backup, the Jets have failed miserably. And you'll see after this review. You let me know. Was I wrong? Okay. Warren beat quick. Okay, right away. Again, gets a little bit over. He gets into a vertical set here, and I think he realizes like, oh shit, I'm not gonna be able to get there, and then tries to get like lateral really quickly, but he gets out of his actual like kick slide. So he gets in one kick step and then shuffles, tries to shoot two hands, tries to shoot two telegraphed hands coming from low and slow. Those hands get deflected with a swipe. Lots of hit. Again, just reaching for contact. Reaching, not a strong base, not a strong punch. Be quick, let up hit. Okay. Warren's stuck on first, missed second level.